Something incredible happened on October 3rd, 2025, when the strange interstellar object known as 3I Atlas made its closest pass to Mars only about 18 million miles away. But what happened next made the whole event even more unbelievable. Just hours after this historic encounter, NASA's entire website went offline. It wasn't a small glitch or a scheduled update, it was a full shutdown. The timing couldn't have been worse, happening right when everyone was desperate for answers. The big question now is whether this object is something natural or something created by technology. We might find out more in the days ahead. What's even stranger is that amateur astronomers had already downloaded raw photos from NASA's Mars rover, and they spotted a faint blur right where 3I Atlas was expected to be. The timing almost seems too perfect to be a coincidence, especially because this isn't just another space rock. 3I Atlas has been breaking the rules of physics we thought were unshakable. It glows bright green for reasons no one can explain, contains metallic elements that don't match known patterns, and follows an almost perfectly straight path as if it's being guided. Whatever NASA doesn't want the public to see might completely change how we view our place in the universe. If you're into space mysteries that challenge what we think we know, stick around, because this story goes far beyond what mainstream news dares to discuss. To give you an idea of how strange all this is, scientists named this object 3I Atlas after realizing it came from another star system. Its close pass by Mars on October 3rd was expected to be our best chance yet to capture high-quality images and data on one of the most unusual visitors ever to enter our solar system. Several Mars orbiters were in the perfect position to observe it. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter with its powerful HiRISE camera, the European Space Agency's Mars Express, and the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter. These spacecraft were basically front-row witnesses to a once-in-a-lifetime event. But then, something completely unexpected happened. Just as the data should have been coming in, NASA's website posted an announcement saying that because of a lapse in government funding, updates would be paused. Over 15,000 NASA employees were suddenly placed on unpaid leave. The same agency that once landed humans on the moon and explored the farthest parts of space went totally silent right at the most important moment. And that's when things started to get really strange. While NASA's official platforms went completely silent, regular people weren't just watching from the sidelines. One astrophotographer, Simeon Schmaus, decided to take action. He grabbed raw images publicly available from NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars and began carefully combining several shots to see if he could find anything.
What he discovered was shocking. A faint glow in the Martian sky, showing up exactly where 3I Atlas was expected to be. The timing of it all couldn't be more strange. Here we have an object that's been confusing scientists for months, making a close pass by another planet. And right when it happens, NASA, the most advanced space agency in the world, goes completely silent. It's like the top investigator in a mystery novel just stopped talking right before revealing the big twist. Now let's break down why 3I Atlas is so strange to begin with. This is no ordinary piece of space debris. When it was first spotted back in July, scientists thought it was just another interstellar comet, nothing too special. But it didn't take long for that theory to fall apart. One of the first surprises was its size. Early guesses put it at around 1,400 feet long, already pretty big for something from outside our solar system. But after more data came in, experts realized they were way off. The latest estimates suggest this object might be over 3 miles in length. To put that in perspective, that makes it larger than most mountains on Earth. It's not just big, it's enormous, especially when you compare it to other interstellar visitors. The first one we ever saw, Oumuamua, was probably about 2,000 feet long. The second, Borisov, was even smaller. But 3I Atlas? It might be 1,000 times more massive than both of those combined. This has caught the attention of scientists like Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, who has raised serious questions. According to the math, we should have seen dozens of smaller objects before spotting something this huge. The fact that we haven't suggests there's something very unusual going on. Then there's the issue of its chemical makeup, which has left scientists totally confused. When 3I Atlas started glowing bright green in telescope images, most scientists didn't panic. Comets often glow green when sunlight hits certain carbon molecules, specifically a molecule called diatomic carbon made of 2 carbon atoms. But here's the catch. 3I Atlas doesn't have any diatomic carbon. Major telescopes from around the world have confirmed it. There's no C2 to be found. So why is it glowing green? Based on everything we know about physics and chemistry, it shouldn't be possible. Instead of diatomic carbon, 3I Atlas is full of carbon dioxide, and not just a little, but far more than what's normal for a comet. Most comets are made mostly of frozen water, with a bit of carbon dioxide mixed in. But 3I Atlas is doing things the other way around. It's packed with CO2 and barely has any water vapor at all. It's like discovering a car that runs on juice instead of fuel. It's not impossible, but it's totally unexpected. And if that wasn't strange enough, the metals found in 3I Atlas are leaving scientists even more confused. This object is throwing out large amounts of nickel into space. That's unusual. While it's true that comets can contain metals, they usually only release them when they're super close to the sun, hot enough for metals to vaporize. But 3I Atlas was shedding nickel while it was still far from the sun, somewhere between Mars and Jupiter, a region that's far too cold for this kind of activity to happen on its own. That's where Harvard professor A.V. Loeb brings up an interesting possibility. He points out that rocket engines are often built using nickel-rich alloys, and when they're used, they give off nickel and carbon dioxide. Exactly what's being observed from 3I Atlas.
Loeb isn't claiming this is solid proof of intelligent life, but he's definitely asking the kinds of questions that most scientists are hesitant to touch. And then there's how 3I Atlas moves. Since it was spotted back in May, it's been traveling in a path that's almost perfectly straight. At first, that might not sound odd, but real comets don't behave that way. As comets get closer to the sun, the heat causes them to release gas. That gas pushes them slightly off course, like tiny engines firing unpredictably. This effect, called non-gravitational acceleration, is completely normal. For example, Borisov, another interstellar object, was shifted its path by more than 300 feet a day. The famous Hale-Bopp comet moved by around 30 feet daily. But 3I Atlas, it's only drifting about 5 feet per day. That's extremely stable for something that should be getting pushed around by gas bursts. The motion is so steady that some experts are saying it looks almost deliberate, as if something might be guiding it rather than it just floating naturally through space. Now, here's where things get truly bizarre. Some scientists are starting to connect 3I Atlas with one of the most mysterious events in radio astronomy history, the WOW signal. Back in 1977, astronomers at Ohio State University picked up a powerful radio signal that lasted for exactly 72 seconds. It was so unexpected and intense that one of the scientists simply wrote "wow" on the data printout. What made the signal so interesting is that it came through on a frequency called the hydrogen line, 1420 megahertz, which many experts believe is the most likely frequency advanced life would use to send signals across space. That signal required a huge amount of energy. We're talking about the kind of power only a star-level technology could produce. Now, here's the crazy part. Scientists have traced 3I Atlas's path backwards and found that it seems to come from the same part of space the WOW signal came from, the Sagittarius constellation. If that's true, then in 1977, when the signal was detected, 3I Atlas would have been right on the edge of our solar system, far past Pluto. Could the signal have been a message announcing that something was on its way? It sounds like something out of a movie, but the math behind it all is lining up. Meanwhile, back on Earth, NASA is still quiet due to the ongoing government shutdown. Only a small team, around 3,000 workers, is still active, mostly focused on the Artemis mission to the moon. But everything else, including scientific research and public updates, has come to a halt. The European Space Agency has been more open. They've confirmed that their Mars orbiters did capture data during 3I Atlas's flyby, but so far, no detailed results have been released. What really raises eyebrows is the timing of all this. Around the same time, the Trump administration proposed huge cuts to NASA science programs. Nearly half of the funding for space research could be slashed. Some lawmakers have warned that these cuts could seriously harm America's ability to lead in space discoveries. There are 20 robotic missions currently active across the solar system.
If the budget cuts go through, many of them could be shut down for good, wasting over $12 billion of public money already spent. So the big question is this government freeze really just about money? Or is there something about 3I Atlas that certain people don't want us to find out? At this point, our best shot at getting real answers might come from the European Space Agency, ESA. Their spacecraft, Mars Express, and the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter were in the perfect position to take high-quality photos and detailed data during the flyby. And in November, ESA's Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer will get another look at 3I Atlas as it moves closer to the Sun. But here's where things get even more interesting. 3I Atlas is now passing behind the Sun from Earth's point of view. That means for the next few months, we won't be able to see it at all. If this object is just a strange comet, it should come out the other side, right where we expect it to, based on the laws of physics. But if it's something more advanced, something that can change direction on its own, then it could reappear in a completely different part of the sky. Scientists are still very much divided. Most mainstream astronomers say 3I Atlas is just an unusual comet from another star system, rare, but still natural. They think we're just seeing odd behaviors we haven't studied enough yet. Experts like Jonathan McDowell from the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics say the idea that it might be artificial isn't taken seriously by real comet scientists. But Avi Loeb and his research group at Harvard keep pushing for answers. They're asking tough questions that others are ignoring. Why is this the third interstellar object we've ever seen, and yet it's by far the largest? Why does it have a chemical makeup we can't explain? Why is it flying in a near-perfect straight line? And how does it line up so closely with the path of the 1977 WOW signal? Maybe each of these things has a simple explanation, but when you put all the pieces together, it becomes harder to believe it's all just random. We could be watching something truly historic unfold, our first encounter with advanced technology not from Earth. Or this could be a rare natural object that completely changes what we thought we knew about space. Either way, the public deserves to know the truth. Not silence, not shutdowns. Especially at a time like this when so much is at stake. The truth about 3I Atlas is still out there, traveling deeper into the solar system. Whether we get answers depends on whether the scientific community can rise above politics and do what they're meant to do, explore the unknown, and share what they find. What do you think is really going on with 3I Atlas? Is it the strangest comet ever found, or something much more extraordinary? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if this story has you thinking, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. We'll be tracking this closely as more information comes in.